Hello guys, today I would like to talk about Apache Cordova. It's a platform for developing mobile applications for Android, iOS, and it's cross-platform, really easy to program because you use JavaScript for that. It's the most easiest programming languages I think you can get on the internet and you can learn right now. For example, if you're just beginner and you just heard about JavaScript, I think you can learn it in 4 days in the basics. And then um, you would need to take few more lessons to adapt for Node.js. Node.js is basically JavaScript, but server side. So if you've been studying JavaScript, you probably know that it's a client-side programming language. So basically, now when you put it in your HTML document and user goes on this page, this script, the JavaScript, compiles and processes on his computer. So basically, it's not using your server resources. It just downloads an HTML file and then it runs on user's computer. And Node.js is solution for that. So basically, on Node.js, it runs on the server, but not on your device, not in your browser. And for installing Apache Cordova, we would need to install a Node.js. Node.js, as I already explained to you, is server-side JavaScript, and I recommend you to download LTS version because it's supported, it's stable version, and it's pretty much good. So let's install it right now. Save. Boom. We need to wait a bit. For now, I would like to also present you two code editors because for writing a code you probably need some code editor, of course if you're not using Notepad. So first one is Atom. It's quite popular code editor right now. It's pretty nice for your eyes. It has lots of extensions. It has pretty much features. For example, teletype, like you can code with your friends in the same editor. Then you have basically it's customizable. You have GitHub integration, so you don't need to install any other programs, and it has lots of features. And on another hand, we have Visual Studio Code. It's a coding platform from Microsoft. Well, if you don't like Microsoft, then you know where to go, Atom. But if you don't mind or love Microsoft, then you can use Visual Studio Code. Probably you have a question, what's the difference? Well, I've been using two platforms. On my PC I have Atom, and on my laptop I have Visual Studio Code. Well, the difference is I think that Visual Studio is faster. Because for loading Atom, it takes me about 40 seconds, and it's I have pretty powerful computer. I mean i7 8 gigs of RAM. It should be enough for running Atom, but it still takes some time to load. And if you have a lot of plugins extensions installed in your Atom, it also takes lots of time to boot it, to start the application. And then the nice thing about Visual Studio Code that it has management for those extensions. For example, if you download Platformio, it's an extension for example, uploading code on ESP32 Arduino, so basically IDE for them. You will find out that it doesn't run this extension every time, only if you edit Arduino files, unlike Atom, because in Atom it loads this extension by default in the start. And this is the thing I didn't like, probably. That's why if you want to performance, I recommend you Visual Studio Code. If you like something very beautiful and you're ready to wait for 40 seconds to boot it, then Atom is your choice. Well, I think Atom has lots of features, and Visual Studio Code too. For example, it has a better debugger and this stuff. So it's right your choice. I will take for coding. I think I will choose Atom. Yeah. I will just add them, but I will not install because I have already installed both of them. So yeah. Now let's install our Node.js. Yeah, sure. Okay, computing, next. I accept, next. Nobody read this. Install Node.js to C program file Node.js. Yes, it's fine. And then here, be careful that you have this will be installed on local hard drive, because add to path is really important and really a handy thing. Okay, everything is okay. Next, install. Now we need to wait a bit till it installs. Yeah, let's wait. So we can see that it finished. Now we click finish, and we have installed Node.js. Congratulations! Now we go and type cmd command prompt, and this is the tool we're gonna use for controlling Node.js. So basically for Node.js commands. Now we need to install Cordova inside Node.js. Let's go ahead, and here we see npm install -g Cordova. I will just copy this, right click, boom, enter. And now we can see that it is installing Cordova. We just need to wait. Okay, now we can see that it finished. We have 415 packages installed in 1 minute. And now let's create our first project and test it. So let's go to our File Explorer. Let's go. Okay. Now let's create a folder somewhere. I prefer creating it in my home directory. Let's name it, I don't know, test Android. You create the folder, then here you write cd. Cd is command for navigation into the folder, and we are already in my home directory. That's why I just type, how did I name it? Oh yeah, test Android. And this tab you can change different values. Okay, now we're in this folder. Now let's create our application. Cordova create my app. Copy, paste. Let's just name it not my app, but how should we name it? For example, demo. Boom. Now we will need to wait and make Cordova anonymity report. No thanks. I prefer privacy. Okay. Now we created our project. Now we can navigate to it with command cd, and in our case it's demo. So we're in our directory, and now we write Cordova platform add browser. Now it is installing a platform browser, so we can test it in the browser. Now we just need to wait a bit. Creating Cordova project, so discover plugin and config, add into the project. Now it's basically installing and downloading all the files we need. And now we can go ahead and write Cordova run browser. and let's see. Oh, firewall. Hello, access. So now we can see device is ready. So basically it's our Android application. You're probably wondering why it's in the browser. Well, because it's faster to deploy on it. Now let's click F12. If you're in Firefox, click on this small symbol, and here you can emulate the phone. Like, let's take Google Nexus 4. Close this. Look, it's Android application. Now, if you want to test it one more time, I mean on your Android device, let's go back to the terminal. Control C. Well, I guess it takes a while. Control C. Yes, terminate the job. And now let's add another platform. Not run, sorry. Platform add Android. Now we will need to wait a while, and I will connect my phone to it. Just take your phone for tests. You can take your own, but I don't like to risk. That's why I found a phone especially for this Android tests. Okay, I will turn it on. We are setting up Android phone. And now one important thing before you start on your Android device. First, you need to unlock your phone. Then go to the settings of your phone. Go down until you need developer options. Click on them, and then you have a checkbox USB debugging, and you will need to click on it so you activate it. If you don't have developer options, then go to About your phone and find in this case phone and identity. No, just a second. About. So basically we'll have kernel version, and you click on it a few times, and it will write like till getting developer options, click like 5 more times, and you click, and finally you will get your developer options. Then turn on the debugging on USB, connect the device to your laptop, computer, and then type Cordova run Android. Boom. Well, we can see some problems. Android project detected and held Cordova find Android home environment. So basically, if you want to develop for Android, you will need to install one more thing. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but let's do that. So let's type Android Studio on the internet. Also, you will get an emulator for that. So if you don't have a phone, then you can use Android Studio tool for emulating your phone. So basically you get something like in the browser bar, but it's more like a phone. Download Android Studio. Okay, I have read and agreed. Downloads, save, boom. Now we wait. Well, it's quite a big program, and it requires some performance. So if you don't have powerful enough computer, it might be a little bit slower. Well, when I say a little bit, I mean a lot, because I don't know, if you're a developer, you probably heard those jokes about Android Studio, that you need another computer, a supercomputer to start it. So I just downloaded the Android Studio IDE. Now let's install it. Okay. For those who I might scare that it needs your computer to be super performance, well, I forgot to mention one thing. We're not going to use it. We are using just some parts of it. So don't be scared about this. Next, we install Android Studio and Android Virtual Device. Next, install. Now we need to wait again. So Android Studio just installed. Now let's click next and let's start Android Studio. Now do not import settings. Okay, I'll close my browser to get better performance. Okay, it's downloading now. SDK components, finding. Okay, welcome. The wizard will set up your development environments. Next, standard. I like Dracula. It's not Dracula. Darkula. Okay, we'll install all of these things. Finish. Okay, yeah, it finished. Okay, finish. Finally, guys, finally. Now let's close that and let's try running our Android run again. I need to turn on the phone. Okay, so let's test one more time. Sure. And the last thing we need to install is GDK. Yeah, so many things to install, but GDK is not so heavy as Android Studio or something like this. Why my internet became slower after installing this Android Studio? So now we install Java SE cookies, right? Submit. Guys, come on. I need to submit that. Oh, come on. Please fill. Yes. Yes. Submit. Close. Okay, we take here Java SE Development Kit. For now, it's the latest version. Click Accept License Agreements and then pick up the one for your version. If you have 64 bits, then install 64. I don't think anyone using 32, but if you do, then install this one. If you're using Mac OS, install this one. And Linux, you have lots of them. Okay, then click here. Save file. Okay, and now it's downloading. Okay guys, now it's about to finish. 20 seconds. And we will install GDK 8. So probably, as you found out today, developing on Java or for Android, it takes lots of things to install. Like you need to install Java Development Edition, Android Studio, Cordova in our case, Atom or Visual Studio Code. All the links I will put in the comments, so don't worry. Okay, now we click next. Okay, everything is selected here. Next, validating, updating, removing files, copy new files. I think we are about to finish. Executing installer, so it's not the end. It just start. Okay. Next. Now I wait for that. 3 billion devices run Java. It's actually a funny thing, like they have this picture for a few years, like 5 years. So I don't know if you heard this joke about Java. Like every time you install it, somebody deletes it. That's why it keeps 3 billion devices. Yeah. Okay, it's about to finish and ready. Close. Now third try. One more time. Just do it. Okay, it found Android Home and Java Home. So starting daemon. Okay, now it's Gradle. The first build is every time very slow, so don't worry. It's just the first one. Yeah, now it's downloading a package for Gradle. I hope it will be fast. If not, I'm so disappointed. Well, it failed, but the thing I found out now is this. You have not accepted the license agreements of the following SDK components: Android SDK Platform 26. I guess we need to start Android Studio. This is so weird. Okay, let's do that. It's actually so annoying. How many things do I need to do to start test Android application? SDK Manager. So to solve this, let's just install Android 8.1 Oreo. Apply. So it will download Android SDK platform. And here we go, licenses. Let's accept them. Clicks. So after installing all of this, click done, finish. And now I guess we'll just click apply, right? Yeah. Close that. Let's try one more time. Cordova run Android. Preparing. Okay, now we can see license for package Android SDK platform 26 accepted. So we don't have any problems with that anymore. I hope we will not have them at all after this long wait. Let's just wait for that. Meanwhile, I can show you the Cordova structure for the project. So how what's inside each project and all the folders. So let's just open code editor. I will use Atom. Actually, no. Let's use VS Code. Yeah, just code. Let's close Atom because I just remembered that it was so weird last time I used it. Code. We're starting this one. So let's see what's inside the folder. Well, we have this in our demo folder. We have package.json, config, npm ignore. Our files for the application are here in www. So here we can see CSS, IMG, JS, and index.html. And index.html is the document that boots when you open Cordova. So here we can see devices ready. This is the thing we've seen before in our browser when we were testing it. Now we're waiting for this one to finish. because working with Android requires a lot of things to install. So, and it's actually very simple because it's basically a website but installed locally on your device. So you can see the calls, for example, to CSS files, link rel style sheet, href, CSS, index CSS. Here you go. If you're familiar with site building, website building, web development, you probably know CSS and HTML. So you can see that structure is totally the same. Then for Cordova, you can also install some plugins. You can Google, for example, I don't know, Cordova fingerprint and now you find the npm.js, or for example this one from Eddie Verburgen. So, and here we have Cordova Apache plugin. So basically how you do that, you just download this and then you just using the documentation you integrate it in your code. It's very simple, but this one is for iOS, I guess. It's not for Android. But the main thing that installing plugins is so easy. So basically you just do the reference in the code, connecting like this link rel style sheet href, or for scripts you have type src. Here how it connects. So let's check. Still loading. In package.json file you have metadata for your application. So here you can put your application name, display name, the version, description, main file. In our case, I think it's a bit different because we're using Cordova, not exactly Node.js, but those things here are important. Okay. So guys, it was system lag, I guess, or something. When I cancelled the task for that, I installed the app on my phone. Now let's try to run it again. I hope now without any problems and accidents. So now the app is built and uploaded on my phone. Now you can see it on the screen. So this is a standard Cordova example how it works. Now basically you can start editing, adding your code, and you'll get your code simply here. So basically just connect the device, doing the settings I said, and then you just upload it with Cordova Run Android. See you next time. Bye.